Hello and welcome to Let Me Bore You to Sleep. My name is Jason Newland, and please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. I now have two websites. I've got jasonnewland.com, which is my podcast, and I also have my archives of all my recordings from the past and present called jasonnewland.store. There is a link to the store from my website as well. So, what am I going to say? Oh yeah, so I also have a YouTube channel where all my videos are uploaded to. I've only got two podcasts now. There is the Let Me Bore You to Sleep, which is this one, and Hypnosis for Sleeping Deeply. They're the two podcasts. So I do include my Let Me Bore You to Sleep on the Hypnosis for Sleeping Deeply, blah, blah, but I don't include anything else on the Let Me Bore You to Sleep, just those ones. Yeah, so pretty much, I guess, Hypnosis for Sleeping Deeply is for everything to do with sleep. And that is what I pretty much focus on, is helping people to sleep. With my super exciting voice. So today is Monday's Boring Objects. Monday's Boring Objects. I also do share. I've got a TikTok, Instagram, and X. That is it, really, isn't it? All my latest recordings, podcasts are on my website, jasonnewland.com, where you can stream. Vinny is staying at his mum's today, well, for a few hours. I was hoping to do a hypnosis recording, but the dog over the fence keeps barking, like, constantly, and it's allowed to happen. See, Vinny barks, but I try to do everything I can to calm him down, to stop him from barking, so as to not agitate or disrupt the neighbours. He still barks, but I kind of like, okay, it's enough now. He's not sitting there barking for an hour, because I could get kicked out of here if that happened. If a neighbour complained and said he's just letting his dog bark in all the time, then the council could get involved, and that's one of the conditions I was allowed to have a pet, as long as it didn't disrupt other neighbours. So, unfortunately, although it's really quiet right now, ironic, isn't it? I don't think I'm going to be able to make hypnosis recordings during the day anymore, which means having to wait till late at night or really early in the morning. So I have to figure a way around that. Yeah. See, I'm going to continue the recording even though there's the dog barking in the background. I don't know how loud that is. You might be able to hear it. If you listen with music, you probably won't. I don't know. There's nothing I can do. Literally. The problem is, and I don't want to moan about the weather being nice, because it is lovely. It's a bright sunny day, it's not cold. It's like a spring day. 2nd of March 2026. So I don't want to be complaining about it being nice weather, but that is when people come out into the gardens and, which is natural. It's a standard thing to do, but in the winter can have some fairly quiet days, although that dog's quite new. I just like to hear, come on then, calm down, just once, just calm down. I did a hypnosis recording the other day, and I had the dog barking intermittently, and I kept stopping, waiting for it to stop barking, and then do a little bit more of the hypnosis recording. And it took 2 hours to make an hour recording, and then it took another 3 hours to edit the recording. Yeah, too much. That's just too much effort. I prefer the old days when I just used to make a recording, upload it. No editing, no nothing, no easing into it, fading in, fading out, any of that stuff. Just suddenly, hello, and welcome to www.jasonnewland.com. I'm going to relax you, starting with your head, now your knees, now your bum. Yeah, the good old days. But now, it's one of the things that happens when I make my relaxing recordings is I feel more relaxed. And if I'm not relaxed, then I can't expect you who's listening or watching to feel relaxed. And I am feeling relaxed. You get a little bit frustrated at times if there's like a huge amount of sound. Like last week, 2 days, 2.5 days solid of gardening being done, and leaf blowers and digging and all this stuff, and people shouting. And they're literally like 2 feet away from each other and they're shouting. That's how they communicate. I understand having to do that when there's a leaf blower going, or when, I don't know, there's a jackhammer, or there's some kind of power tool being used, and to communicate involves shouting. But when none of that stuff's actually on, why are you still shouting? The thing is, like early mornings, they're literally just chatting while the dog's barking. Oh, I think they've actually closed the door. No. They're just continuing. Thing is, a lovely dog. That's the weird thing about it. It's the only dog that I've ever met that likes me. So, can't be angry at the dog. I met him last Tuesday. Really like him a lot. I tried to swap, but the lady wouldn't have it. Go on, take Vinny. I'll okay, well, how about £200? She said, I'm not paying you £200. I said, no, I'll give you £200 to take him. But no, she wouldn't. I got a question. It's my dad's 80th birthday in just over a month. And I found someone to look after Vinny for me for the day. So I'm going to head up there because he doesn't live near where I live. And I've got a friend, because I used to live in the town next to him. So I've got one friend from that town that I still keep in contact with, that I've been close friends with for since 2003. And we've just been close friends, just friends, nothing else, but just, got on really well. I generally, not all the time, but generally I've got on better with females than men. Don't know why, just generally seems to be the case. And I'm a little bit distracted. So I thought, we were talking on the phone. I speak to her on the phone every week. Just catch up and, if it wasn't for her name's Teresa. And if it wasn't for Teresa, I very much likely would not be doing this. Okay? Because there are two people that have had a huge influence on me with my hypnosis stuff. Blogging, vlogging, making hypnosis videos, seeing people privately, whatever. Which also then led to me become a counsellor. Led to me helping a few thousand people over the years. Two people. One is Noel, my friend. And I mentioned him, he used to own the comedy club. And the other one is Teresa. And I met Teresa. This is going to be my boring subject. It's going to be Teresa. Although she's not boring. Okay, so Teresa. I met her on a course. I did this massage course. Well, it was a holistic therapy course. Back in, I think it was about September 2003. Yeah, September 2003. So that's when I met Teresa. And we just hit it off, just been friends with her ever since. And so I'll go into how she helped me, but basically we were talking on the phone, and she literally just phoned me about half an hour ago. She said, we were talking about the fact that we hadn't seen each other since about 2019, I think. Yeah, about 2019. And what was this? It was definitely before 2020 anyway. So I think about 2019. And she said, we really do need to sort of get together and meet up. Because there was a time when I lived in the same town as her that we would meet up every week, have a meal, go for a coffee, whatever, to every single week pretty much. Either during her dinner break or my lunch break, or maybe on a Saturday, you know, whenever really. And we'd talk on the phone, and we're just good friends. And we kind of came to the conclusion that as I'm going to be up that way next month, we could find a way to get together to spend some time with each other. The thing is, if I met her before going to my dad's, we'd have like a very short period of time, and I'd be rushed. And if we went after with her, if I met up with her after I'd seen my dad, I'd probably be knackered. So my suggestion was, why don't you just come with me? Why don't we go together? Because it's a barbecue on the Saturday. It's a meal on the Sunday, but I can't attend the meal because I can't leave on Vinny here for the whole weekend. But I can leave him for the Saturday. Plus, there's the travel. You know, the travel's really bad on a Sunday. Just generally on the railway lines, especially this area. So I said, yeah, we could do that. And she seemed quite happy with the idea. So she could meet me at the train station. So I'll go to her town, she can meet me at the train station, then we get on the next train to take me to where my dad lives. And then we could go together, have a barbecue, maybe take something towards the food, you know, so a bottle of wine, or maybe take some beers, or take some food, some burgers or sausages or something like that, you know, like contribute. That might have been her idea. And so I thought, yeah, I started to look forward to it. I thought this would be good because that was weird. My computer's making some weird noises. I'll unplug it. That's it. Oh, by the way, you want to know what the stats are for my YouTube channel? Alright, let's have a look. I have 1,679 subscribers. It's kind of weird, like the stats went really high and then went down again. And it was all because of that one video that people liked. Well, you know, the 2,000 people liked, or 2,000 people, over 2,000 watches of it. And it was 17th of February. And then, but none of the other videos since have really been like, I've got a couple over 100. Because, you know, bearing in mind I've only just recently started putting videos on here again, like just before Christmas. So it's fairly new. Like, I mean, I'm talking like videos of me talking. Before it was just the podcasts, and I wasn't getting many views of those. It was just a static image. Yeah, like some I get 7, 4, occasionally I get like 120, but you know, quite low numbers. But now, since I've been doing videos since right, It's not since before Christmas at all, is it? I thought it was. Maybe I did it and then I stopped. Or maybe just the stats weren't very good. Blimey. I'm just going to go back to January. So I'm actually doing alright compared to what it was. Monday's boring objects, 13th of January. So 44, 19, 15, 35, 13, 35, 10, 36, 34, 11, 33, 16. So this is January. Let me bore you to sleep. What happened? I mean, 53. New Year's Eve, 13. 13. And it's actually a video of me. No, it's not a video of me. I'm not on the actual video, it's just a picture. Fair enough. Perhaps that's why people weren't watching it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I had some videos. New Year's Eve, TikTok. Right, 2nd of January. So there's one with me actually talking on here. Happy New Year. There's me actually on the screen. So 31 views. So it's not a great amount, is it? Yeah. So maybe it is getting better. It's just slow. It's just slowly doing it. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I should just stop moaning. I'm not really moaning. Just noticing. Just being aware. Yeah, so I am getting more views on the videos, the newer videos, than I was like a month ago. It's just, once I was getting the one that had 2,000, which was extreme, deep and confusing sleep, I was getting like twice as many video views as normal. So it just kind of, everything was bigger. But actually, all the videos since then have also grown in numbers. Ah, okay. So it's still early days with this YouTube channel, because I put, apart from very recently, I put no effort into it. Yeah. Put no effort into it. So anyway, so I phoned up the family to just say, just like, out of courtesy, so I'll just let you know I'm bringing someone with me. Make sure you're okay with it. And the response was, but it's a family gathering. Not horribly, but it's a family gathering. Or it's supposed to be a family gathering. And I thought, I mean, you know, in my mind, I kind of thought that my dad would maybe enjoy seeing me with a woman, you know? Because he's only seen me with 3 previous girlfriends over 40 odd years. So I thought he'd quite like to see me, because he's seen my little brother with girlfriends over the years, and he's seen, and the stepbrother, stepsister, they got married and had boyfriends and girlfriends and stuff quite often at family events. And yeah, I didn't, it kind of took me by surprise a little bit. So I said, all right, no worries. And then they were saying, well, it should be okay, I suppose. And by then I was like, nah, it's not going to happen now anyway. So I just said goodbye, and I texted my friend to say they don't want you. They don't want you at the thing. Family only. Perhaps I should have worded it better. Maybe. I wonder if she's texted me. Oh, okay, sorry. Just having a look. 13:12. Sometimes I look at my phone and I don't know if it's me that's called the person or they've called me. Because like there's a downward line or an upward line and I get confused. So my intention is to get rid of SoundCloud. Now, a couple of people have said, oh, can you update the SoundCloud because it's not updated? But I'm not sure why I'm just wondering why. What's the difference between SoundCloud and listening to it on Apple or, you know, one of the main podcast hosts, or maybe my website? I don't know. I mean, I've not deleted anything yet, but I was kind of planning to kind of trying to streamline everything. So I'm not 100% sure what to do with that. I mean, as it is, I kind of messed up a little bit, I think, by just breaking it down to just two podcasts, and the whole idea behind that was to make it easier, to make it more to have everything in one place. I mean, I deleted the podcasts from Apple Podcast. Yeah, I've gone into Spotify and everything like that. They're still on there. The old podcasts are they're still up there, but nothing's being played. You can't play anything. And that just confuses things. The idea of by deleting, archiving those old podcasts, deleting them off a Spreaker, and then deleting the podcast, then archiving, the source on Apple, so they're no longer shown. So the idea is, so if people put in my name, all that's going to come up is the two podcasts I've got. However, if you go into Apple Podcast, go into Apple Podcasts, and if you put in my name, there's loads. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, shows. It comes up shows. There's only 2 shows. That's brilliant. That's how it should be. But then I suppose Apple Podcasts will do that. Because so that's all uploaded. That's all updated rather. So let's go into Spotify. So go to Spotify and look up my name. I should have copied it, shouldn't I? So I didn't have to type it out again. Jason Newland. So I'm just going to search there. Jason Newland. Top result, Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Okay, but if I go to podcasts and shows, right, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 24, at least 24 different podcasts from the past. There's stuff from like 7, 8 years ago on there that they're just not deleted. Why don't they delete stuff if it's no longer connected? Why don't you delete stuff? And then I got Let Me Bore You to Sleep. There's like 1, 2, 3. So the proper Let Me Bore You to Sleep to listen to is not the one that says with SoundCloud. That's the thing. People are listening on SoundCloud, so people are clicking on that one and they're listening to the thing, but it works because it's on SoundCloud. But the thing is, if you come out of there and you click on just the normal Let Me Bore You to Sleep, that also works. And it's not on SoundCloud. There's no point for me to have two Let Me Bore You to Sleep podcasts, one on SoundCloud, one on Spreaker, because they're both on Spotify. So I won't do it until whoever listens to Spotify, not Spotify, to SoundCloud, lets me know, because you can listen to stuff on my YouTube channel, on my website, on pretty much every major podcast host has those two main podcasts. I don't know. I'm confused a little bit. Because they're everywhere. Everywhere. I am everywhere. And maybe I just need to go back and put back the old podcasts like before and just leave them as they were. Because I was getting views on there, or listens. And just reinstate them, put them back, and just have loads of podcasts again, which is, to me, defeats the object of what I'm trying to do. I mean, if at all possible, I just have one podcast. And if I did things over again, that's what I would have. The problem is, I didn't start out podcasting. That wasn't really a thing. It was a thing, but it was popular for a little while. I think about 2004, 2003, 2004 a little bit in America and that. And then people lost interest. When I started 2006, I was making individual standalone hypnosis recordings. There was no continuation, wasn't a continuity going on. It wasn't, didn't need to number them really. I numbered them just so people knew kind of which one was first. But it made no difference in what order you listened. And it still doesn't really. I suppose the Let Me Bore You to Sleep ones would sound a little bit different if you suddenly listen to one from 7 years ago. And I'm talking about stuff that's not just very different things than what's actually, going on now. Yes. Not sure. I mean, maybe I made too many changes all at once. Gone down, got itchy nose. Gone down from 6 recordings per episode to 2. Got overnight ones. Perhaps people prefer the ones which were just normal length. I don't know. It's trying to make it easier for people. Doesn't really make it easier for me, because I've still got to create an episode on its own in order to create the YouTube video, and also to add the extra hours to make it 10 hours or overnight. I don't know. What do you reckon? Any ideas? What do you think? What do you think? I need to find out something quickly. David Benavides. Next. What on earth's going on there? Next fight. I want to see when he's fighting next. He is fighting Anthony Yard, May the 2nd, 2026. Where will it be? Oh, why Anthony Yard? Why do you keep going to America? Why can't you? Anthony Yard is a big name in the UK, and he's fought for the world title 1, 2, 1, 2. Twice. Twice. No, wait a minute. He's not fighting Anthony Yard. He fought Anthony Yard already. So why am I where did I come up with Anthony Yard? Oh, okay. Forget the Anthony Yard. He's fighting Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. So Anthony Yard fought Kovalov and lost. That was a few years back. He then fought Makmalov, I forget his name, who was the cruiserweight world champion. No, light heavyweight world champion. So who had all the belts, I think, at that time, or nearly all of them. So he fought, all of them, I think. He fought him and lost, again by knockout. So he fought for the world title twice, and then he fought for the world title again against David Benavides and lost by knockout again, I think. So David Benavides is fighting Ramirez on May the 2nd, 2026. So David Benavides is the WBC light heavyweight champion, and Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez is the WBA and WBO cruiserweight champion. Oh no, Benavides is the WBC light heavyweight champion. So he's going up to cruiserweight to fight Zurdo for the WBA and WBO cruiserweight title. Wow. Now, Benavides has been around a long time. Unbeaten. He's held the world title twice at super middleweight. He also held the interim title at super middleweight as well, added on top of that. He's then won he's got the light heavyweight world title, and now he's going for his world title so it'll be his 4th world title, but at a 3rd weight. I think Benavidez will win all day long. Benavidez will win against Zerdo. Pretty much because they're both stars, but I mean, David Benavidez, he wanted to fight Canelo, and Canelo refused. People were saying he was ducking him. I can't believe that Canelo would duck anyone. I mean, I don't think that's. I can't imagine that's really in any boxer's kind of brain set. Can you imagine, like, people who say that other boxers were scared of getting into the ring with Mike Tyson? Well, why are they boxers then? Yeah, but it's Mike Tyson. No, forget who it is you're in the ring with. If you're a professional boxer, surely you've got to believe that you can beat anyone, and you're not going to be intimidated by anyone. Because even these boxers that don't look very good, these heavyweights that are fat and maybe they don't look the right shape, and maybe they're not doing very well as a professional, they're not, just because perhaps they haven't done well as a professional boxer, they're still confident. They're still tough people. They're the ones that you see on the doors of nightclubs who feel invincible. They don't think that anyone can hurt them. They don't think that anyone could beat them, even though they do get beat in the ring. So I don't think that anybody was scared of Mike Tyson in the ring. Outside of the ring, yeah, but in the ring, I don't think there'd be many boxers other than like a journeyman who's only there basically to get knocked out, to earn his 700 quid or £1,000 or whatever, and he's just basically cannon fodder, whatever you want to call it. Maybe then there might be a bit of fear, but generally a professional boxer is not going to be scared of another person. So these people just say, oh, you can see the fear in the eyes of Mike Tyson's opponents. I don't think they were scared. They might have been. They didn't want to get. They didn't want to get punched, which is a weird kind of thing to be in. You know, if you don't want to get punched, don't become a boxer. It's like, I want to be a golfer, but I don't want to have to touch a golf club. I'm not going anywhere near those bloody balls. You know, I want to be a football player, but I don't want to touch a football. I don't want to kick a ball. I do anything else but kick a ball. Can I be in goal? You still have to kick a ball, you know, when you kick it out. No, I can't just throw it out. No, because if you throw it out, it'll always be close to your goal, won't it? And if the other team get it, then there's more chance of, you know, scoring a goal. Oh, please, I just don't like kicking balls. Well, why don't you do something else then? What do you like to do? I like looking at bricks. What? Yeah, I like looking at bricks. So what, you want to be a bricklayer? No. You want to be a builder? No. Well, what do you want to do then? I want to just look at bricks. And do what? Nothing. Maybe drink some tea, have a biscuit, and look at the bricks. What's the benefit of that? I like it. Makes me happy. Okay, each to their own. I don't know what to say. I think you don't know what to say because you've forgotten how you got here. What do you mean? Well, I'm talking about I like to look at bricks because it's so random. You've forgotten what you were talking about before you got to me saying this, and now you're a little bit stumped. Maybe. Well, why don't you look at your computer screen? Maybe that reminds you of what you were talking about. Oh yeah. So I was talking about boxing. How did I get onto the subject of boxing? Oh, Teresa. She literally just phoned me again. It's almost like her ears must be burning. Someone's talking about me. That's how she talks. I remember meeting her for the first time. We were all sitting around. The teacher said, "You'd like to all say your name?" I said, "Yeah, I'm Jason." "Introduce yourself." I said, "Well, I just did." I said, "I'm Jason." "Well, say a bit more about yourself." "I like what?" She said, "Well, why are you here? Why are you on this holistic therapy course?" I said, "So that I can learn to be a holistic therapist." She just gave up. Then she said, "Next." And I went around the room, and then it was Teresa's time, and she said, "Hi, I'm Teresa." And the teacher said, "Oh, hello, Teresa. What So why are you on this course?" And she said, "Hi, I'm Teresa, and I want to do this course because it's really good, and it's going to be fun, and I'm going to learn how to do massage." And the teacher said, "Really? Do you want to say any more?" And we were like, "Say no, that's enough." The teacher said, No, talk. It's fine." "Well, all my life people have made fun of the way I talk. So I thought if I did something to help people, they would not judge me for my voice." And the teacher said, "Well, that's very good, but maybe some kind of vocal training would be better suited for you." "Oh, I've done that before. You should have heard me before. I mean, I did that for 2 years. Oh, my voice was terrible back then." "So your voice has improved?" "Oh, yeah, at least 3 times better now. So, yeah, I couldn't keep going to the same person because he left the country. He moved away." "He moved away?" "Yes." "Okay. Did he say why?" "He said didn't want to do the job anymore. He felt like he'd failed everybody, and I don't know why." "So, are you sure you don't know why?" "Well, I think I know why." Why then?" "Well, I figured out that maybe he had one of his clients who he couldn't really help. So, yeah, I don't know who it was, but it's a shame. Mind you, I think it might have been Tracy." "Tracy? So did she? She wanted to improve her voice, did she? Yes. So what? How did she? How did she talk? Oh well, she talked like this. Oh, hello everybody. My name's Tracy. Ooh, ooh, how are you? She's very stuck up. I forgot how I talk now. How was I talking before? You okay? You probably talked a little bit slower before. Okay. Is it more like this? Yeah. That's a bit better. You sound like you could do with some vocal coaching yourself. Ha 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 ha. Okay. No, Teresa doesn't sound like that. I don't know quite where I went there. So Teresa. So I thought it'd be quite nice to see her, but I'm not going to be seeing her now. But I'll maybe try and get to see her in the summer sometime. So here's how she helped me. It didn't feel like help at the time. I'll be honest. It was annoying because she put me on the spot. So basically what she did, as soon as I met her, I did the same as what I told a lot of people when I met them. I'm a hypnotist, you know. I do hypnosis. I can hypnotise people. You know, I tell people that. I've been doing it since 1998. And that was the only thing I really in a sense, felt good about. Like, I don't know, having all the books. I had loads and loads of books, and I'd read loads of books, done courses, and I felt like I had some knowledge. And it felt quite nice to have knowledge that the average person doesn't have access to. Well, they can buy books, but they don't know about it. They don't like. It's not like something you learn at school, you know. So it felt quite nice to be more knowledgeable about that subject than probably 99.9% of the population. Probably higher percentage. Although most people are not interested in it, I guess. But I felt good. It's like, okay, I can do something that some people think is weird. But the idea of me doing something weird, no. Yeah. And then I wasn't practically doing anything when I met her. I'd seen one client in London. I did some hypnosis with another person in London. I did a bit of hypnosis in 2004 when I was trying to launch my free pain relief service, but in the end just did it with friends. So in 2006, bearing in mind I'd known her for 3 years at this point, I said to her, I'm going to relaunch the free pain relief service, and I've got my website open, and I'm going to start, doing this stuff again. And in some ways, I guess I was more interested in, I thought about I was doing videos and posting them on MySpace and doing audios, recordings. Initially, I got no response from the free pain relief service. But what I did get, which I wasn't expecting, was Teresa to phone me up while I'm at work and tell me that she's got a friend who needs my help. And I remember saying to her, I'm sorry, but my stud service is it's not available anymore. I closed it. I don't do that anymore. I'm no longer a gigolo. And she said, no, it's a serious conversation. I said, all right, okay. So she had a friend that needed to, basically her friend was taking her driving instructor exam. And she'd already failed twice and was told if she didn't pass this time, then I don't know, it wouldn't be good. Now, I had no idea what I was going to do, and I didn't want to do it, but she put me on the spot because I've been not bragging, but I've been kind of talking about it to Teresa for 3 years about I do this, do that. I'm a hypnotist, I am. I can hypnotise people. She called my bluff. She really did. And I did not know what to do. So she came round my house 2006 with a friend who I had met, but I didn't know her really. And they both sat there on a settee together. I sat in a chair opposite. I had no single idea what I was going to say at all. And I think I was probably there with her for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. She was gone. Teresa was zonked out as well. And when it finished, I had no idea, whether what I'd done was useful. But I found out 3 days later when she told me she'd passed her test, her exam, like really easily. And she was thanking me and everything. It's like, okay, that's cool. Brilliant. Don't ever want to do it again. Because it was hard. I just really didn't know what I was doing. I had to be creative. And the knowledge was there, but the practical side wasn't. Or there's no practical experience as such. And then it's like she kept coming back with more people. Teresa popped back and said, oh, by the way, my boss's wife, I'd met her boss, who's a nice bloke, his wife has to go into hospital and have surgery, like a serious surgery, and she's petrified. Can you come and help her to deal with that, and also maybe help deal with the recovery time? And I think she was going into hospital like 2 days after I saw her. Like everything was like last minute. I said, okay. So I went to the shop that my friend worked, and her boss gave me a lift back to his house, and I sat in there with his wife, and we again did probably an hour and a half, 2 hours of me talking. And then she had the operation, and everything went really well. And even the nurses said like the recovery time was way quicker than is normal, and less pain relief needed. So, okay, so I've actually got testimonials for these. And then I thought, okay, I still hadn't had any pain relief people, which is what I wanted. Now, by now, I think I started to... Yeah, the next one was my friend who'd been to college. Who's Teresa called me and said, "Oh, what's her name's husband?" Oh yeah, well, what I did, yeah, I was a cheapskate. One of my friends at college, another friend, like that, Teresa was one. There was a few. We all got on well, really. Her husband or her boyfriend, unfortunately, was very, 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 very ill. Like really, you know, as ill as possible. And they ended up getting married. And he... Yeah, it was kind of like a... Well, they got married. They weren't together long after that because he wasn't around for much longer. So they got married. I went to the wedding reception, not to the actual wedding itself. And I gave, as a wedding present, a little booklet of 6 vouchers offering free hypnosis, thinking they're never going to use it. Save me money. I can now just go and buy a pint in the bar. Well, I didn't know that. I met him and just said hello. And he'd never met me before, didn't know me from anyone. Met him at his wedding reception. Nice to meet you. And that was it. Didn't think I'd see him again. Because I didn't have much contact with her. Although I did go to the hen night. I was the only man there. It was brilliant. And so I think I was kind of like I was pretty much a woman. Because I was on a course and it's just all women, and I was one of the women, one of the girls. And I get a phone call from Teresa again. I don't know why, I should have blocked her, but I got another phone call. "Hi, Jason." Yeah, what? Oh, no, sorry. "Hi, Jason." "Yeah, Teresa." "Are you okay?" "Yes, I am." "What's up?" "Well, do you know Gertrude from the course that you pulled out of that you used to be on? Where we met?" "Yeah, I remember." "Well, we went to their wedding." "Yeah, I remember. It was like 2 weeks ago." "Yeah. Well, her husband's in hospital and he has to..." I can't do a silly voice for this bit. So her husband was in hospital. He had to have this treatment that he'd already had before, and didn't like it. And he refused to have this treatment unless I came in and saw him first and did some hypnosis with him. The bloke didn't even know me. He'd met me briefly. Yet, for some reason, he had some kind of belief that by seeing me and talking for half an hour would make his procedure easier to manage. And it did. It really did. I was like, wow. So those 3 things, both powerful, really. I mean, the first one, in a sense, was the hardest because it was the first one. And it was something that... I mean, the second two, or the second and the third, rather, because I was very interested in helping people to reduce chronic pain and to, relax people. So both of those, and to reduce anxiety and stuff, they kind of were what I was looking for. I was interested in. So with the exam test, I mean, there was a lot of anxiety, so I needed to reduce that. But as far as the preparation, the rehearsal in her mind for taking the test and how she's going to feel when she's taken it, before and after, when she's successful and she gets handed the piece of paper or gets told, congratulations, you passed. And so that was a huge challenge at the time, and also having someone sitting next to her, because I've never really had that before, although it's always an option. And I just it was hard. But then the next one was way more serious, because it was a physical condition. This is her boss's wife, who had to have, again, a serious medical surgery. And then the third one, which was what's her name's husband, who again had to have, it was a medical procedure, but it was serious. So yeah, the third one, they were all, the second two was medical, like serious medical. The first one was, driving exam, tutor, test thing. And this is before I'd even seen any pain relief people for my free pain relief service. And I don't know how serious, I don't know how well I'd have done with the pain relief people if I hadn't had these three sessions with people before that. Because once I did start seeing people for pain relief, they were, like, it was in people's homes, they were picking me up, I was going to their address. I'd had some experience. Not a huge amount of experience, but they were successful, all successful. And then I started seeing people with chronic pain, and according to the people I saw, it was 100% success rate. It doesn't mean it was. Maybe some people were fibbing, but everyone said that it helped. Which then that led to me doing the voluntary work at Norcas, which is a alcohol charity. Which first I was doing these courses on a Monday evening after work. Then I started doing relaxation groups. And then Iceni, a drug rehab place, headhunted me because they heard that I was doing it there, and they asked if I'd do it at theirs as well, which I did. And at this point I was part-time working, so I had more time to do this stuff. And I was trying to think. Yeah, I suppose I was doing more in a way of like making recordings. I mean, I'd already made videos, and I'd made some recordings that I'd uploaded to, not Facebook, what's the other one? The whatever it was at that time. But then what happened is people asking, this are the charities, can you not, what are we supposed to do? We can't listen. We listen to you once a week. What are we supposed to do the rest of the days? So I started recording. I was recording the sessions anyway and putting them onto the internet, but I decided to sort of put them onto my website so that people could listen to them, listen back to the recording I'd done. But before I did that, I put it onto a CD. So we got through them so quickly. Everyone was taking them. So it got to the point where the charity said, no more CDs, it's costing too much. We will, because they processed it there, but it was just costing quite a bit. So I decided, well, if I put them on my website, people can stream them or download them. There were ways even back then to stream. It wasn't easy, and it could be quite expensive, but downloading was easier. So I just had download links, and people could download them. Yeah, and that's kind of where it led from there, into 2007. Yeah, 2007. Continuing with the videos, I mean, I think 2007 is when I started the YouTube channel, and I already had videos from 2006, but I wasn't, even though I'd started putting stuff on MySpace, I wasn't making loads and loads until 2007. Then it's when I really started making, or maybe 2006, making more audios but not more videos. And then when I joined YouTube, I started making more videos, and then podcasting became more of a thing, so I started doing more podcasting. I mean, I think I had them on a podcast in 2006, but then I found one in 2007 called freepodcasts.com or something. And yeah, it was going well. Oh yeah. Every recording was getting thousands of downloads, which was nice. And then, in one of the charities, I actually went up to the boss of the charity and said, can you give me some advice on how to become a counsellor? Because I got excited then, because everyone I worked with or volunteered with was nice. All these counsellors, they were just so nice. And she gave me some advice, and that, one thing led to another. I ended up getting my counselling course and getting a degree, and becoming a counsellor for a few years, which I think helped. Yeah, helped. It helped with the recordings, helped with the podcasts and the videos, as well as maybe helping me to understand myself a bit more, helping me to understand others a bit more, maybe. It's hard, really, to know, but yeah, it was good. But if it hadn't been for, what's her name? Teresa. If it hadn't been for what's her name, I'm not saying that I would not have gone on and done stuff, but those the first three people I saw before I even saw anybody else live in person, really, I do believe, had a positive effect on what I did later on. I'm falling asleep doing this. It's so warm in here. You notice the dog stopped. Budding. So I had to close the window. That's a shame. It's a nice day. I like to have the windows open. I don't know what to do about the noise, because it's going to be noisy now, isn't it, in the summer? The spring, summer. There's going to be a lot of sound coming through. Oh. Yeah. And I've known her ever since, really. So you could say I've kind of... If it wasn't for her, my life might have been gone in a different direction. And I might not have had I not seen those 3 people that she sent me to, or that she promoted me really to, had I not seen those people, who knows what would have happened. I might have just imagined it, maybe nothing. Maybe I wouldn't have had the confidence to do it. You know, I might get a phone call. Hello, is that Jason? Yes, it is. That's how I spoke back then. Hello, my name's Jason Newland. How can I be of assistance to you in a hypnotic manner? Hello, yes, I was wondering, can you do some pain relief? That's quite a few voices in one there, isn't it? You do. Like, yes. And it was someone... I don't know, I forgot what I was talking about then. I've fallen asleep while I'm talking. I'm literally falling asleep. I've noticed that recently. When I'm making recordings, I just like, oh. So I'm going to go. That's my Monday's boring objects, talking about Teresa. But she did have a positive effect on my life. And if it hadn't been for Teresa, I might not be doing this now. So some would argue, well, that would be a good thing. Stop it! So I'm going to go. Thank you very much for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you deserve to be happy. Be gentle with yourself. You deserve to feel safe. Lots of love. Bye.